This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome to the very first episode of Mind of the Meanie on One True Sport, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE East Superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Oh, man, feeling a lot better this week than I was last week. But hey, welcome to our first edition on One True Sports. Very excited about this collaboration. A lot of good people behind the scenes. A lot of promotion for our show for the new network, which definitely makes us feel welcome and warm and fuzzy inside. But dude, I'm happy. I'm psyched. You know, we're live, pal.
We are live.
Little inside baseball. Normally we do live to tape and put the podcast out there. But thanks to One True Sport, you're getting to see us record live to tape in the flesh. So we'll see how this goes.
Hey man, we're excited.
Anything can happen when you're live. So
I was just gonna say, yep, and we are excited to be here. We want to thank everybody here in the chat. We see a lot of folks in here. I'm gonna pull up Darren Staley real fast. I'm having some beer. It's payday. Let's do this thing. I appreciate you, my friends. Thank you so much. And we have our we're seltzers here for first time callers here to the program. You'll see that we have our seltzers here for our favorite segment of the show, Ask Meanie. So at the top of this, when I ask you to start dropping your comments into the chat box and let us know your questions for Ask Meanie, feel free to ask them, and you'll see them right here underneath us as well. Yeah. So I want to just give a shout out to the couple of people here. I want to quickly shout out to our wonderful friends in the Pod Squad. Longtime Pod Squad member Vanessa Bello is here with us as well as Moshater Von Kill. Greetings and salutations. Thank you all for joining us here. Travis Bohab is here. And we're all here. Oh, look who else is here. The proprietor of this fine establishment, Dominic D'Angelo. What's up, dude?
One of my favorite people. Dominic, you got to come to Philly. We got to go to McCuskers again. We got to hold our calls together, sir. Love Dom. Love Dom.
Here, holy crap, Dom is here too. Yeah, I was surprised to see him, and I'm glad to see him here too. We're just gonna say hi to everybody here. Darren Staley, Adam Barnyard. Yes, it is I. It is me. Yes. I to we. Thank you very much for that, sir. And then the green 413 is here. So thank you all. Like I said, we're all very excited to be here. We're looking forward to it. We're so excited to be a part of this network here and this wonderful platform here. But Meanie, I want to start at the top here. Yes. I know I'm glad to see that you're feeling a little bit better, because we were both under the weather a little bit last week, as Daniel would say when we were recording the show.
This is a drizzling shit.
We were not feeling well. And I wanted to just first check and see how you were feeling, sir.
Hold on. A lot better. No, definitely doing a lot better, bro. I don't know. Last week was Mrs. Meanie's birthday, and it was a week ago today, and we went to the Green Day Smashing Pumpkins Rancid concert, and then the next day I felt like absolute dog shit. And then, been feeling it all week. Here's a little adventure. So we go to the concert Friday, which happened during a downpour. It was like whatever that tropical storm was passing through.
Yeah.
And it rained during the day. It rained toward the first day with the new mouth. It rained during the day. And then it calmed down for Rancid, calmed down for Smashing Pumpkins, came down for Green Day. We're like, they were playing Dookie and America Idiot, both in their charities. So after Dookie, we split for McCuskers. That first time viewers, McCuskers is my favorite bar here in South Philly, favorite bar in the world. From our seats to the doorstop of McCuskers, 20 minutes. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. So do that. go home, go to sleep, and then the next day, go out to McCusker again, go to bed, wake up to the news that the paneling fell off the side of my house.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I wake up. Mrs. Meanie goes out back for came back from the bar having a couple daddy sodas. I powdered to the bed, wanted to get some sleep. She's like, yeah, the paneling just came off the house, just a small piece. And it's because that tropical storm came through, and then all of a sudden there's like a little nest gimmick in there,
Oh jeez.
like right here, or like right where I record. So, uh, long story short, I'm out and about, and I get a call from Mrs. Meanie going, "Oh, there's a squirrel in the house."
Oh
So
God, dude.
it became like it was like Clark Griswold with the Christmas Vacation. They're chasing the animals across the house. So got that taken care of. Got the house fixed, and I'm hoping there's no because the squirrel was hiding in here.
Oh Jesus, man.
But we got the roof fixed. We got the squirrel out, and I was like, man, that's a hell of a cameo when we make our debut on One True Sports. I mean, instead of
Well,
BJ and the Bear, it'd be like Meanie and the Squirrel.
well, he's joining Meanie, or the squirrel rather. The blue squirrel is joining Al Snow in the dungeon space that we have set up for him in the wonderful section of Philadelphia there that we can't say for legal reasons, of course, because we don't want to give away its location. But want to make sure that actually new listeners as well. We try to have Al on as much as we can, but he's settled. He's safe in his little gimmick space. He has his Haribo sugar-free gummy bears, which keep him very plentiful. We've also been giving him, Meanie, I don't know if you know, we've been loading up that little tiny fridge we have with Mountain Dew Baja Blast. So it feels like that way he has a nice, really good mixture in there with the sugar-free plus the Baja. So it's definitely
I need to bring this up. We can't. Everybody. There might be some new folks here.
Of course.
This is episode what 230.
Mm-hmm.
230. We've been promising to have Al on, and it's kind of like that Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon deal where we just happen to run out of time every time, and Al's stuck in the Mind of the Meanie green room. So it's become this ongoing thing. We try to keep them fed. We can't try to keep them hydrated.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's been there for 4 years. It's kind of nuts. Like it's been a long time. He looks great.
Somehow he still makes his bookings. He's still able to run OVW from our green room.
Hey,
he had a whole series on Netflix while in our green room. So
it was actually as a series of holograms that we were able to put together for him. So
I often kid Al that he is in the worst witness protection program because they disguise his voice, but they show his face.
Meanie, I want to let you know I have some breaking news here for you, sir. We have our very first super chat ever.
Oh,
I'm going to put it on the screen here. Oh man, wait, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Darren Staley, $10. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you for that. Thank you very much.
Name.
We speak your name, sir. We speak your name. Dude, I gotta get that for the board now. I literally have the American Idiot cover tattooed on my forearm. Dude, send us pictures. That's fucking dope.
Please share.
I have the CD, the vinyl, and the t-shirt. Can't wait to see the show. I have very blurry memories of Dookie. And actually, I'm thinking about Dookie, the album, of course. He drinks that coffee, it's going to run right through him. We're going to have some nice noises in about 10, 15 minutes. But
you know what I'm saying?
We got to do the whole thing. But no, the Dookie is actually one of my favorite CDs of all time. I remember first getting my hands on that. I think it was 1993, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
with Dookie, and that's a fucking phenomenal album.
And I'll say this, Billy Joe Armstrong, kind of one of the inspirations for me wanting to do the blue hair gimmick.
Yeah,
You see him at was it Woodstock '94, and he's playing, and people are just flinging mud, and he's just enjoying it, but he's got that blue hair. Billy Joe Armstrong and like Rodman of the '90s made me think about doing the blue hair before Raven gave me the blue meanie gimmick, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome, man.
Dookie's an amazing album.
Darren says he's going to tweet that to us. Yeah, please let us. We'd love to see it. We'll talk about it this week. And also, Darren hits us with a Baba Booey and a Baba Booey, a pleasant Baba Booey to you, sir.
A Baba Booey, a Baba Booey.
A Baba Flea Fla Flea Fla Fla Flea Fla Flea Flow. We got a super. We got a super chat here, Bolf, from it's actually $19.99 American dollars. For Mr. Paul Bromwell, sir. We thank you. We speak your name, sir. Thank you. We're gonna give him we're gonna give him a Yokas for that one.
Yokas.
Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do different tiers for
different cheers, get different sound.
Yeah, the $10 gets a and the $20 gets a
Yokas.
So we're gonna give that Yokas out there to Paul. It's so great to have Mind of the Meanie as a part of the One True Sport team. Show these guys some love tonight. Great to see the Meanie at the Best of All Worlds concert.
Yeah, he hit me up. Paul did, and Paul, thank you for the kind super chat.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing says you believe in our product more than investing in it. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we both me and Paul were at the Sammy Hagar concert in PNC Art Center in Homedale.
Yeah,
and he said, "I saw you. I didn't want to buy." I was like, "Brother, you're not bothering me at all." I was the one who chose to wear the ECW shirt, tank top to the Best of All Worlds concert and have people go and chant ECW at me. I was, it's not like I wasn't looking for attention. So it would have been nice to, see you there, sir. But Paul, class guy, man, big fan of Paul. Everything, all the shows he does, he's such a great host, such a great conversationalist.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I when the opportunity to come over here, him and Dom and the Dom brothers, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer to come in and join them because we already have a relationship that I cherish.
Yeah. Wonderful guys. Love working with them. They're just absolutely fantastic. And again, it was like you said, it was a no-brainer. And we're happy to be here. So thank you, Mr. Bromwell. We appreciate you, sir. I also have a fun surprise that on Foundation Radio, my other show on foundationradio.net. You can go and check it out there and subscribe at youtube.com/@foundationradiopod. We have a surprise coming up, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's your hint there. So we going to have some fun stuff over there very soon, and we'll keep you posted on that. And that's a YouTube exclusive right there. So you can keep that under your hat. Want to let you know, Vanessa Bello, also Pod Squad member, I think a founding Pod Squad member.
OG
just gave us a $9.99 super chat, so we appreciate you. And if you look,
that's very kind.
If you look above your head here, you can actually subscribe to us today at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. We have all kinds of extra gimmicks and goodies over there. You'll get a card that says you're an official member of the Pod Squad that's signed by the blue guy himself, and all kinds of other fun shit that we have coming down the pipeline. Dustin, I want to go back to something that he said before we jump into the next part of the show here.
Please do.
Dustin said about the green room for the show. Shouldn't it be the blue room? And sir, we give you a Yokas on that.
Yokas.
You're absolutely correct. That should be we
stand
really
corrected.
think that out. Yeah.
So now do we have to kick Al out and bring him back into the new blue room?
I mean, do we just like kind of sloppily throw blue paint on the wall and call it a day? Like that might work.
We'll just cover Al in newspaper and masking tape and paint around him.
That's it.
Al, sit still, damn it.
It's on the sides of his face all shitty. Yeah, no, that's definitely the way to do it. Oh, Dustin hit us with a fly, Eagles fly. That's right. Go Birds. Go Birds.
My buddy Dustin King at Championship King. Actually, he made some makes very fine belts. I have a couple in my house here.
Nice.
And we're collaborating on something really cool that I can't talk about, but once it happens, I think everybody will know about it. So
we are excited for that as well. Thank you, Dustin, for the fly, Eagles fly as well. But I want to kind of talk about this right off the top of the program here. So we had some news that broke before we went on the air.
Just as we were about to come on.
Yeah. Afa from the Wild Samoans passed away. I know Sika just recently passed away as well. So I wanted to just get your thoughts on Afa's passing and his contribution to the industry, man. I mean, the Wild Samoans were just one of the lack of a better term, wildest tag teams in the history of the industry. And I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on Afa's passing.
Bro, just I'm a child of WWF. I started watching WWF in 1982, and the Samoans were a huge staple of my childhood, my fandom. And they were like one of the first. We're on One True Sports. They're one of the first true heel teams to scare me. Little 8-year-old kid and seeing these guys with big wild hair and just look like they weren't to be messed with. Unfortunately, we lost Sika, and sadly, unfortunately, we lost Alpha today. And dude, I mean, Alpha the Samoans gave so much to the wrestling business, but especially Alpha. The fact that he's trained so many stars. He trained Batista, and even more famously, trained Mickey Rourke for the movie The Wrestler.
Oh, no
So
shit.
so many good guys went through his training camp. He gave wrestlers opportunities to hone their crafts. He would run shows out of Allentown with WXW, and then when they relocated to Florida, he ran shows down there. He gave the boys opportunities to hone their craft. He gave advice, and he will be sorely missed. The Samoan family, the Samoan bloodline, beautiful, beautiful people, wonderful people. I'm glad that they've welcomed me in. There's three things in life they're guaranteed, or there's three things: death, taxes, and don't piss off a Samoan. And I'm glad the Samoans like me, and they're great. They're beautiful people. And Alpha was a beautiful man. Sika was a beautiful man. They were a great tag team, and there's no words to can truly convey how important him and his family are to this business. Because I mean, look at what's going on now. One of the hot storylines is Bloodline, now Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0 versus OG Bloodline. We'll see where that's going. But it all goes, but they're a royal family, and Alpha and Sika, part of American pop culture, part of wrestling pop culture, huge impact of professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's like I said, I mean, without the Wild Samoans, you don't have Roman Reigns, you don't have this dynasty in the industry right now, and it's just it's a shame, man. It's a shame to know, because Kevin Sullivan, we talked about last week as well. Kevin Sullivan passed away, and I actually want to thank Vanessa Bello. Speaking of that, she dropped the clip in our exclusive Patreon group that I brought up about Kevin Sullivan talking about blurring the lines between reality and still trying to be the heel, and I got the same feelings I got from that. But it's a shame that we're losing, so many of these legendary people and these legendary figures in the industry. It sucks, man. There's nothing good.
Legendary wrestlers, legendary minds.
Yeah.
If you were in a locker room with Kevin Sullivan and Sika, and you didn't reach out to them for advice or approach them for advice, that's on you.
Yeah.
Just talk about two of the people who've approached the wrestling in a different way. Alpha really wasn't a talker because he was a wild man. Kevin Sullivan could talk because he was doing all the devil stuff, and he can do promos and scare people, and he wasn't afraid to get heat.
Yeah.
As we say in wrestling, heat puts meat in the seat.
Mm-hmm.
And he put a lot of meat in that seat, and he got a lot of people through those turnstiles to buy a ticket. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If you could connect and make people want to buy a ticket to either see you get your ass kicked or watch you kick ass. And that's and it's the wildest part was when the Samoans turned babyface when I was a kid too. There was a moment where they were baby faces, and that blew my mind too. Battling Dick Murdoch and Adrian Adonis at
oh wow,
the Spectrum or Madison Square Garden and all that stuff. Kevin Sullivan, I don't know if he's ever truly been a baby face, but two great minds gone. And it's a shame because there's so many people. There's the next generation of wrestlers. They definitely could have benefited from, being around an Alpha, being around Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
But my thoughts and prayers go out to Alpha's family. Kevin's family. We paid our respects last week. This week, hopefully we don't have to do anything next week either. But we pay our respects to Afa and his wonderful family.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Well, losing a parent is rough. Unfortunately, I had to. My mom passed away a few years ago, and to watch somebody slowly go. But my heart goes out to Afa's family.
Yeah, we are, sending our condolences to him and the entire, bloodline family right now, and it just sucks, man. I hope again, time is relentless, and it never seems to get easier. But we want to send our condolences and our well wishes to them right now through this.
Time is the ultimate booker.
Yeah. Speaking of ultimate booker, I feel like we got to give. I don't really know how to transition out of those kinds of things, but I wanted to kind of pivot here and talk about friend of the show, actually, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. I know we talked about him a little bit last week, but I know we weren't feeling well, so we didn't get to really deep dive too much into it. And also kind of to tie it back to SummerSlam, and kind of talk about what happened there, because obviously there's some conflicting reports that are happening right now. Jacob may or may not have injured his leg on the table spot that he did with Cody Rhodes, aka Pastor Cody, during the end of the match there. It seems like they're not really sure about that, but I wanted to kind of gauge your thoughts about Jacob Fatu, and also how popular and how over he is getting, almost ahead of Solo Sikoa. And I guess my question is, do you think that's by design, or do you think that's just the fans getting behind Jacob in a way that maybe Solo hasn't really been able to accomplish it at this point?
Ultimately, the fans decide things, there's a fine line between listening to fans and not listening to the fans. When it comes to certain things, but ultimately the fans will tell you if you're over, and they'll give you the Iggy, you're over. And Jacob got over super quick in super dominant fashion. I don't know if he's past Solo, but I'll say this, the fun thing about Jacob Fatu is watching people react to Jacob the way, watching them learn something you already know and watching it happen in real time. Like me and you, I've known about Jacob for years. Yeah. I've been able to watch Jacob for years. I've got to, I was fortunate enough to share a locker room with him, have a talk with him here and there, and to watch, people, in MLW and all around react to Jacob Fatu. But now he's on the global stage of the WWE, and to watch people, it's like why I'll go on YouTube, I'll watch reaction videos. So-and-so listens to Van Halen for the first time, and I get the people react the way I first reacted to Van Halen. Yeah. Now I'm watching people react to Jacob Fatu for the first time in the way that I did. Like, is this guy real? Is this guy an alien? How can he just... Dude, I've done a moonsault. I'm kind of known for a moonsault, and then I watch his moonsault. I was like, did I really do a moonsault at all? I mean,
it's crazy watching him move like that. Like Mrs. Goober, she is slowly starting to integrate more and more into wrestling, and she's heard the name Jacob Fatu because I remember I had gone to the MLW match at the ECW arena with the Hammerstone and Fatu. It was when Hammerstone won the title, and it was the first time I saw that spot where he does the legs on the top rope and flips himself over. Yeah. And then I saw him do the fucking moonsault from the top. I was like, this man should not be moved. I mean, he was probably 60 pounds heavier at most when he was with MLW as compared to how svelte he looks now. But I was like, this man moves like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And just unbelievable.
And that brings up to the point that hopefully he's okay. I've heard he's injured, but I always look at that from two perspectives. Is it kayfabe injured?
Right.
Is it injured? Is it, kayfabe so he can, not have to, self Roman? Maybe they knew Roman was coming back and they're like, well, this guy's a killer. Let's not have him bump around just Jeff Roman. Yeah. So maybe down the line, he gets to do something to Roman, lay Roman, because Roman's coming back. He's been laying everybody to waste.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, maybe I hope it wasn't a real injury. I hope it was a kayfabe injury, just to kind of let him lay low for a second and not have to not get weak, but you don't want him to sell just yet for
Right.
Roman Reigns. So maybe the next time Roman comes out to lay waste to the other guys, here comes Jacob, and he laid, because eventually, here's my prediction.
Yep.
Here's my prediction. It's going to be I'm going to say Roman's going to get back with the Usos,
Mm-hmm.
possibly Sami Zayn too as well, OG bloodline, and it'll be him against the current bloodline with Jacob Fatu. So, I mean, where do you go? Do you have to put Roman in a compromising position, in order for him to bring the other bloodline members back. So why not have him come out, and then Jacob storms the ring and just lays him to waste, like he's been laying everybody to waste. And that's my prediction. It not a fact, it's just my opinion. If I could predict things like that, I go buy a Powerball ticket. But that's the things I would that's the things I'm thinking are going to happen with the bloodline. Hopefully Jacob's okay.
I mean, I hope so too. I think he's, like I said, Jacob is the next evolution of this bloodline story, right? I'll make a bold prediction, sir, if I will, or if I may. I think the match that I really want to see, like if Hollywood's Rock the Dwayne Johnson and Roman Reigns isn't going to happen at 41, I think it should be Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. I think that is like a marquee match on the level that I don't know that we would see in our lifetime, especially because they're both at their peak, right? They're at the top of both of their games. And I think that is definitely something that we should see at some point. Maybe if it's not WrestleMania, definitely, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. I mean, that should be almost a main event caliber match.
Yeah. I think they're definitely going to do something for Survivor Series, War Games, OG Bloodline versus 2.0.
Yeah.
Just Daddy's home, and Roman's home, he's the true leader. So
yeah,
I'm excited, man. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan right now.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff going on right now, and I know that we're coming up on Bash in Berlin. I think it's the Bash in Berlin or the Bash in Berlin, one of the two. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I know it's at the end of the month, and they're building towards Gunther as the world's heavyweight champion, going up against Randy Orton. And I wanted to pick your brain on that to see what you thought about that. But first, I want to give a shout to Eddie Prather here in the chat that says Jacob is a bad mofo, and you are 115% correct, sir.
Absolutely.
He is that man. He is that dude. So I want to go back though and just give me your thoughts on the Gunther Randy Orton match. How are you feeling on that? And how do you feel about Gunther's trajectory going forward?
Dude, it threw off my prediction. Like I said, if I could make predictions, I'd be buying lottery ball tickets. I thought Randy was going to actually turn on Cody and go for the undisputed belt. But now that, Gunther and Randy are going for the world belt, it's going to be good. It does nothing but great things for Gunther. Gunther's a great worker as it is, right? Dude, I was just saying this, this past week. I was like, Gunther could have wrestled Bruno Sammartino in Madison Square Garden in 1962.
Hell yeah.
He is that throwback. He looks like a puppy with big paws, just just the way he's transformed himself, the way he works. Remember when people were mad that like they changed his name from Walter to Gunther, and that was a big outrage, and now he's Gunther, and people forgot about Walter. So, but that's my little soapbox rant. But dude, this is gonna be great things. Randy Orton is one of the best workers in the world, third generation guy, came up through the WWE system, and not like Gunther needs any help, but he has no choice but to get even better than what he is right now as a performer. Randy does the small things very well.
Yeah.
People always, do the rib about like how long it takes him to do his ring entrance. 6 months from out from WrestleMania, to be like Randy Orton has now started his ring entrance for his match. But that's by design because he can do it. He can get away with it, and he does the small things good. He lets the moment. One of the things I learned in wrestling is sometimes you just gotta let the moment breathe.
Yeah.
And if you think you're going too slow, go even slower. Let when something happens in a wrestling ring, the wrestling fans are usually 1 or 2 seconds behind from they see it, they think it, they process it, they react. In that amount of time. Randy lets the fans digest exactly what they saw and understand exactly what they saw. When you're a young guy in the wrestling business, you think you have to do this, that, and the other thing. Boom, 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 boom. No, take a break.
Yeah.
Sell. Look to the crowd. Let your opponent sell. One of the things I learned in wrestling also, work a hold. When you work a hold, that gives the commentators an opportunity to tell your backstory and let people know about you. If they're just calling moves, there's no way for the fans to learn about who you are and what you are as a character. So people, that's a big misconception. But again, that's another tiny soapbox thing. But Randy does all the small things great. And he's like one of the last gaps between old school and the current school. When you think about it, his grandfather, his father, him. And him working with Gunther, I am envious of Gunther. Just to get to work with somebody as as great as Randy. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good, hard hitting match, and it's going to be amazing. And I'll say it, and I'll say it again. I love when WWE does pay-per-views or PLEs over.
Actually, it's called a PLE now.
Excuse me, sir. That is PLE, and I'm not talking about PIL, which is Public Image Limited, which was the band. PLEs overseas because I love watching live pro wrestling at like 1:00 in the afternoon. So I love I love when the NFL goes overseas for a little bit. I can watch football at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. That's my day. So I'll be looking forward to the Berlin Bash. Let me tell you something. At the Berlin Bash, brother.
He would just butcher the name. You're like, oh Christ, here we go. Write it on the sky, and he would.
At the Silverdome. He called the Superdome Silverdome. The Great American Berlin, brother.
Every time, every single time.
Let me sell you. Let me stop. I'm no Will Sasso, brother.
Oh my God, man! I got a chance to catch up with Chris Van Vliet at the SummerSlam media, and they were talking about. He had tweeted some photos of Jesse Ventura. He's got a piece coming out with Jesse, and both Karrion Kross and Will Sasso showed up to this interview, and I just literally my mind can't wrap myself around the idea of 3 Jesse Venturas in one place, and I think it just might be the greatest thing to ever happen. So I'm
when a couple time travelers show up at the same place at the same time. Is it the end of the world?
It's that picture of Spider-Man where they're pointing at each other, but instead it's just Jesse Ventura everywhere. So
you tell me about the plutonium.
Let me ask you, Blue Meanie, when you talk about moonsaults, I can talk about moonsaults in the Gulf of Tonkin.
I have
1976.
Potable water.
It's a little known fact that I actually took some cars from Cuba when I was there on a peacekeeping mission with the Navy SEALs. And I have upwards of 1958. I have 68 cars that are just running.
Like what? Wait, Travis,
in the Baja.
We're big fans of Jesse Ventura here. We love Jesse the Body, and I love the fact that he's back on in good graces with WWE too. Like that was
hopefully they put him in the 2K video game. That'd be awesome.
Man, I'm an action figure collector. I actually just got my set of Briscoe action figures as well, Jay and Mark. And I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that we get a Jesse the Body action figure. That would be super dope. But I want to touch back on something else real fast that you talked about, because I know you're a legend in this industry as well, and you're a legendary guy, and I need some advice from you, and I want to talk about it here. As you know, friend of the show and friend of mine, Muscle Man Malcolm, has a match coming up on the 24th of August in Brooklyn, New York, at Jobber Slam 4, run by friends of the show, Jobber Tears Podcast, and Sir Wilkins, and he's out there talking all that shit, man, about AJ Francis. And I've been telling him, I'm like kind of scared for his safety at this point. Like, I know, like, hey, we're in the, the gimmick business and all like that. And, hey, all that, but maybe we should bring the rhetoric down a little bit. And I just wanted to know if you had any advice for Muscle Man Malcolm on his first real big match and what he should do against AJ, because I don't think it's going to go the way that Malcolm is assuming it's going to go. And what advice would you give him?
Oh man. How many matches has he had?
This is his second match. This will be his number 2 match.
Oof. Oh man. I just gave you some advice. If you think you're going too slow, go even slower. AJ, experienced worker. Listen to AJ, man. Just listen to him. I mean, he's been in the WWE system. Just listen to him, follow his lead.
Yeah.
I mean, who's the heel between those two?
AJ. Malcolm could never be a heel.
Okay.
Malcolm is just too nice.
Well,
Nice.
I know all the crap he talks about you and being an old man and stuff. But, he gave me heel vibes. I don't know. I don't know.
He could hit us with a Hogan bash at Berlin Beach, 1997. As Hogan would call it.
At the bash at the Berlin Beach in the Baja, brother.
I think we found our episode name. No, I am excited for Malcolm. He had a great showing at MCW recently. I think it was this past weekend. He had a match there, his first tag team match, and now he's got his match with AJ Francis. So I want to give a chance to put it over. Malcolm, I still think you're going to get your ass handed to you by AJ Francis. I don't know why you keep calling him the names that you do, but being someone who's on the other end of that, when you tell me I'm 108 years old,
give me some examples of the names he's called AJ.
He's called him Big Bitch. He's called him obviously Flop Dollar, which got him smacked across the mouth. He's also referred to him as like different variations of the word top and different variations of currency, because he's top dollar, so he's highest pound or tallest yen, and obviously AJ is not real thrilled about that. So
I can imagine.
I think it's a little concerning. And he called him a Ninja Turtle the other day. AJ called Malcolm a Ninja Turtle. It's a whole thing. It's a whole experience. But
you youngsters,
you damn kids, and all your Rizzler talk and whatever the fuck that means, and your
dude, my second match ever was in a used car lot in Piqua, Ohio, in front of like 20 people in July, and they had to hose down the ring in between matches because nobody wanted to take a bump because the mat was black. So the sun's beating on it. You take a bump, you sound like somebody cooking a pork roll.
And listen, we're from Philly. We call it pork roll here. Get the fuck out with that Taylor ham bullshit. That's not what we do here.
Yeah,
it's pork roll or it's nothing. God damn it. Right. But I do want to say something else. God damn it, if I may, sir. Getting us to my favorite part of the show, and I know it's yours as well. And I do want to say,
yeah, of course.
I have a question.
What would that be?
Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
This is a drizzling shit.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Don't forget, if it's your first time watching, or if you're a long time viewer, don't forget to tweet us your questions, because we don't say X, we say tweet. We call it Twitter. And
it's Twitter.
It's fucking Twitter forever. Tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on the show. You can also send them in the Dropbox right now. You can super chat us, or you can drop them in here and let us know your questions. And like I said, during our Ask Meanie questions, we always have a spritzer or a seltzer of some sort to keep us hydrated. So, Meanie, what do you got for us today?
First of all, rest in peace to my case of pumpkin pie seltzer that I had been rocking since November, when I found 8 cases on sale for 28 cents a piece.
Man.
And I had my last one last week. And
We're We're gonna give the pumpkin pie seltzer a Yokas for that.
Yokas.
We salute you for your. I really thought we were gonna get all the way to November, man. I really did. I was confident. Yeah,
that was the goal. We
Yeah.
just cleaned our house. I swore I would have tripped over a case of them somewhere in this house. We have such a hoarder house. It's all closed. You won't even find any dead possums or nothing. It's just like I just can't say no to free swag. It's just. But this week I have Waterloo Peach.
Ooh, look at that. That's fancy.
Yeah, man.
And I have the cheap shit from Aldi, the sparkling frost classic lemonade. Instead of pink grapefruit I was going to bring today, but meaning I couldn't help myself. I had to crack that shit early. So we're going to open these up. You're going to Sandman that. We're going to get going.
I'm going to Sandman it. One-hander.
3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Even though it's cheap shit, it still smells really good. So cheers, beers.
Pinkies up.
Pinkies up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, Derek.
Everybody should make that sign. Oh,
what R.I.P. pumpkin pie seltzer, sir.
To my good friend Derek Mazaz. Thank you. I speak your name, Derek.
We speak your name, sir. Dustin actually wants to know: was it still any good?
It was. It was very good. Even in like July, drinking pumpkin pie seltzer shouldn't have worked. But it was refreshing. It wet my whistle.
Yep, it's nice.
We
get parched here, so we're gonna.
That looks fairly dirty.
Yeah, it does. It looks.
Yeah,
it looks kind of. It's pornography. Here's our first question of this week. Looks like it's coming from our good friend Carlo Carlson. Coke Zero, my favorite drink, with his hilarious photoshops every week. Y'all should give him a follow. He is hilarious, man.
Follow us on the Twitter, and we'll read his photoshops.
He says, hey, Blue and Goob, always enjoy the pod. It adds something to my Mondays. And sometimes if you listen to it on Tuesday, whenever you get to it. But so I felt I should ask a question. What is your go-to Wawa order? Thanks, guys. In my best Tony Khan voice. So, Blue Guy, what is your go-to?
When I go to the Wawa, it's a very good Wawa. It's like one of the best Wawas. 7 stars in Japan Wawa. Definitely I get the green tea, and the green tea at Wawa is always sticky for some reason. I don't know why. The exterior of Wawa green tea is always sticky, but I don't drink the green tea. I haven't drank that in a while. In my fat, I mean, look, I'm fat now. In my fat days, I would down a whole liter thing of that Wawa green tea. My current Wawa order depends on pre-hangover, post-hangover. Pre-hangover, I could do roast beef with roast beef hoagie with lettuce, tomato, pickles. No, get that lettuce the fuck out of it. With tomato, onions, pickles. You got to let it sit for like an hour so that pickle juice gets in the fucking bread.
Yep.
It's real good. Now, like if it's like a Sunday morning, I'll do like the breakfast sandwich. I'll get like a bacon, egg, and cheese, buy a thing of hash browns, crumble up hash browns in the roll with the bacon, egg, and cheese.
Oh man.
I've been using this sriracha Tabasco. Drizzle that on there.
Wow.
Get yourself a sandwich. But trying to be less of a fat fuck. So I'm just trying not to say that for it, and I just said it.
Happens.
Hope we don't get demonetized.
Actually.
Hey man, they said we could cuss, and we're cussing. So I'm gonna cuss.
Fuck it. But lately I've been doing the Wawa quesadilla. The quesadilla.
Yeah.
It's got get a grilled chicken quesadilla. And I put a little bit of that sriracha Tabasco on there.
Smart. Yeah.
And what I also do while I'm ordering food, I'll order a cold brew. Now here's the secret. Get the cold brew, tell them leave room for cream. But instead of putting cream on there, go over to the hot coffee and put a spritz of the flavored coffee in there. I'll put hazelnut
Mhm.
in there. Now it's pumpkin pie season. I put a spritz of the pumpkin pie hot coffee in my cold brew, shake it up, put it back in the fridge, let it re-cold,
Yep.
and then I got pumpkin pie cold brew
Oh man.
and diarrhea.
Yep.
Yes.
And diarrhea. Here's Meanie after his pumpkin pie cold brew.
This is a drizzling shit.
That's right, Dan. It's coming out like liquid lava. So
Bubbling crude.
a little bit of Texas tea coming out.
Texas tea.
Oh my God. Paul says, "Dear me, head to
I
Wawa
fucking mood to
now,
miss
man."
the fucking toilet at Wawa. It's fucking amazing.
Mood
Brother.
of-
Don't go there after I've been there. The best,
Oh my
you know what's
God.
good about taking a
like a
dump at
fucking-
Wawa?
Looks like a Rorschach test.
Here's the best thing about taking a one. That too, but the best part about taking a dump at Wawa, hearing somebody walk in, go, oh, and walk right out. Just it's like the guy who comes in, the Simpsons character. The guy comes in, puts his hat back on, and walks right out.
yeah. Grandpa puts it on, takes it off, and goes.
You
That
see
is
my Air Beavis
hilarious.
sneakers underneath the fucking
Uh-huh.
the toilet door.
That is amazing.
Toilet door McGee over here.
Oh my God. Actually, so there's a follow-up on this one here. Let me find it real
Please.
fast. I just lost it. Oh, okay. So Greg Jacobson wants to know Wawa burgers, and I also got to give you my order too. Wawa burgers, yay or nay?
Surprisingly, yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Wawa burger's not bad, bro. And the Wawa, I go to a Wawa that's right down the street from Wendy's, and to me, Wendy's is one of the better burgers in the area.
Yes.
Now I know there's regional ones like California's got In and Out. Some places have Whataburger. I have to. My opinion's on where I live.
Right.
Good burger in Philly called Punk Burger on Passyunk Ave here in South Philly. Amazing burgers, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll go buy one. Most people know Wawa burgers. Yeah, I'll do the custom order though. I'll do burger with bacon, cheddar, onions, and no condiment, like no.
Yeah.
Because I don't put ketchup on there because I'll put my own.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using that sriracha gimmick I've been talking about. I'll put that on there, and I'll get like one of those flavor chips. They got the hers.
Yep.
Local flavor chips like the pierogi chip. It's been pretty good. So that's yeah. Wawa burgers, absolutely.
I would say burger, and I'll give you my order in a second, but burgers, I would say yes, but it's not my first choice. If you're going to ask me for like a wild, like you can't believe that's on the Wawa menu and I'm going to go back for it. The fucking Wawa pizza, man, that shit slaps, bro. That shit was incredibly good.
Surprisingly, the Wawa pizza's all right.
Yeah.
It's not that
Like,
bad.
it's really not. I had Matt from Dover brought it over, my brother, and it was like, I can't believe, like we were sitting there eating. I'm like, I'm kind of nervous about eating this. I was like, fuck, man, this is really good. This is impressively good. Like, I'm surprised.
And if I'm super hungover, the Wawa meatball hoagie.
Yes, I was just gonna say, Travis is hitting us here with the meatball hoagie.
Yo,
And,
Trav, what up, Trav?
No, that is definitely one of my go-to orders now. I love the Wawa meatballs. Honestly, one of the things I've been doing recently, I did it last night because for my shoot job, I was late coming back in from Boston, and my flight didn't end until like 12:30. It was a fucking comedy of errors. I parked at one of the places I used to work, so I still have access to the garage, but I couldn't get in the building, so I'm sitting in fucking West Philadelphia at 1:00 in the morning trying to get in this damn building, and so I didn't get in until 2. I get closer to home, back here in Downingtown, about 2:45. I'm like, I need to eat, right?
Yeah.
So I got my usual. I got the large cup of meatballs, right? Which just throw, like, there's no wrong amount, right? Just throw, as long as they're not like going to scold me, throw them at my face, and whatever I catch is the right amount of meatballs.
Yes.
But so I'll get the big cup of meatballs, and now they have those little tiny mozzarella cheeses that you can get. And I toss them in there, and I cut the meatballs up and let it all get like mixed in and fucking melted and shit. Brother, like, what a delight.
This meat's going to get tagged as porn, bro.
I was gonna say I went from 6 to midnight, right?
Yeah.
So I what's that thing from Archer? Stop! My penis can only get so erect. So he says, there's the one. There's that's the fucking best. There's another one I'll get. So I'll usually do a turkey hoagie or a turkey
Hoagie.
a hoagie. I'll do a turkey shorty with lettuce, yellow mustard, and mayonnaise on a wheat shorty, which is just phenomenal. And those voodoo chips. I can't remember the name of the company, but the voodoo chips that so good. But again, if I'm really feeling squirrely, I'll go for the meatball hoagie. So that's definitely the one I want to go for.
Shout out to Wawa's pretzels too.
Yeah, dude.
The soft pretzels.
Yeah, man.
That's good hangover food right there, bro.
Good stuff.
Or that's good currently drunk food as well. 3 a.m. Huh? What do we got? We got the Wawa pretzels. Launch them. You know.
Yeah, throw them at my face.
Let me have them. Seal. You know. Just,
All right, let's see what we got here in the chat here.
You piece of shit.
You fat bastard, eat this. I'm like, yes, I will. I'll eat it. Questionionion for Meanie from Canada Spaceman or Canada Spaceman. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but why do you think the WWE or WWF never really used you and never reunited the Blue World Order since all three of you were working for them at the same time for a while?
Well, we did have that comeback for a little bit with the Mexicools. Your guess is as good as mine. I think me, Stevie, and Nova would be good ambassadors.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, what they're bringing legends back. They just did something with Sandman for the video game. They might be doing an action figure.
Yep.
So hopefully, knock on wood, that they do. Do a 3-pack of figures or do something in the video game.
Yeah.
Now, I often have this theory that, my character really never connected because I technically owned my own character. But, now under the new Triple H regime, who knows? I will say this, back in, I forget what the year was. Me, Stevie, and Nova, me and Stevie hosted ECW on Release Volume 3. For WWE Home Video, and I was told by the producer that he had a list of people to co-host with Joey, and WO was one of those, and he gave the list to Triple H, and Triple H picked BWO. So
wow,
Triple H is a great dude. Me and him always got along, fellow metalheads.
Yeah,
but hopefully they do something. I'm not giving up hope. I don't know. Maybe because, we weren't a WWE creation. We were a ECW creation, which you think about, WWE owns ECW now. So why not have us, as ambassadors? But hey, we're on the alumni page on WWE.com. And, eventually I believe something will happen. Maybe not in ring, but hopefully something with a video game or maybe action figures. They just brought the Headbangers back too, doing Legends deals and stuff like that. So I'm open to whatever. It's I'm not going to say never. I'll never say never.
Yep. I will tell you now, unabashedly, if they do make a figure of you in the elite line, I will unabashedly come to your house and have you autograph it, because that would be the dopest fucking shit ever. And I'll say this too. I know I tell you this probably like once a week, and I say this to you offline as well. Anytime I mention the Blue Meanie, anytime I'm wearing my BWO shirt in public, anytime it comes up about the Mind of the Meanie, I get the same response every single time. Holy fucking shit. I love the Blue Meanie. He's the man. That's so dope. Where can I hear this? And it's like, you are a beloved figure in the wrestling space. So I want to make sure that I tell you that here in front of all of our new friends, but also in general, like Papa H, I know you're a fan of the show. I know you're listening. Hunter, if I will, or Try, if you will, since we're cool like that. I really think it's time to bring the BWO back. So if you're watching, sir, which I know you are, we can get that moving here. But let's see. I got a couple more questions here for us today. Here we go. Friend of the show, Greg Alker, who for sure made out with a mannequin in Westchester, Pennsylvania in 2010. He definitely did. Trust me on that. Why do hangovers get worse the older you get?
Just like any true sport, drinking should be an Olympic event,
Mm-hmm.
They're just afraid the Germans would, win all the gold on that one. But well, Germany and Ireland, I am Irish. Why do they get? I don't know, bro. Look, the older you get, this is a lesson I've learned with my consumption of beers. You got to pound waters with them.
Yeah.
For every beer, you got to have a glass of water because, I get into that habit where I'm sitting at the bar, nobody's talking to me. I'm reaching for a beer, reaching for something. They go,
yep.
Get a water, pound some waters along with the beer. Next morning, feel a lot better than you would have did if you were just constantly reaching for a beer. So, yeah, that's my theory. I am Dr. Meanie. By no measure have I perfected the art of avoiding a hangover because I'm pretty sure I had one all day Saturday.
Oof.
You go to a concert, you're drinking. We went to the Green Day Smash Pumpkins Rancid thing and we're pounding fucking tall boys.
Oof.
And then we go to Huskers afterwards and I turned to my grandpa, falling asleep in the chair. And she's like, "Wake up!" I'm not sleeping, even though I'm clearly sleeping.
I can see you just arms crossed at the bar, eyes closed, like I'm good, everything's fine.
Yeah, man.
So good. Let's see. We got a couple more questions here. So we got Matthew Rodriguez wants to know. Question. What's up, dude? Thank you for your question. We appreciate you. What are your thoughts on timeless Tony Storm with her butler Luther? Tony Storm reminds me of the old Gold Dust, and do you agree?
Yeah, that's a really good call. The only difference between Tony and Goldust is it's weird. I was just thinking of Goldust today. Goldust was more androgynous, where Tony is clearly, well, she could be the Marlene in the situation, but Tony Storm's money. She's so good. And Luther, I'm very happy for Luther. Luther did a brief stint in ECW back in the day. When I saw him, I did like a one-off with AEW October, like 2 years ago. And he, reminded me like, how we got along and we hit it off in ECW, but I'm happy I love the gimmick. I love what they're doing with the character. Proving that characters given, well-developed characters will always get over. And she's one of the most over, that's one of the most over acts in AEW. And I agree with the Goldust analogy. I can't say I could say plenty of good about it. But that's a great
comparison.
Yes, thank you.
You got it, of course.
That's why I paid the big bucks.
Second to last question here. Eddie Prather wants to know, ask Meanie, who would make your Mount Rushmore of great wrestling minds? My four would be Jim Cornette, goddamn, Paul Heyman, Pat Patterson, and Ole Anderson.
I mean, it all depends, what you grew up on. But, with the passing of Kevin Sullivan, you go back and do, a lot of thinking. You're like, man, he was a disciple of Eddie Graham. Eddie Graham, probably one of the best wrestling minds ever. Eddie Graham was a guy Vince McMahon looked up to, and consulted with. So, Eddie, famously sent Bob Backlund up to Vince Sr. and on Eddie's word, they gave Bob Backlund the world title. So I would have to say, Eddie Graham, Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson, invented the Royal Rumble. Well, he perfected it. He got the idea from Roy Shires in San Francisco and brought it to the world. And, we get to enjoy it every year. So Eddie Graham, Pat Patterson, definitely Paul Heyman. Paul doesn't get enough credit. I mean, I take that back. He's starting to get his flowers a lot now too. Back in the ECW days, I always said, hey, I always said, he was one of the best minds of the business, and that got overshadowed by the way ECW closed,
Yeah.
But Paul was always great. And then number 4 would be I would have to say Raven.
Mm.
Raven totally underrated, created a lot of characters, in ECW, and the only shame of it is he never got a chance to really book. But like, if you heard Raven talk about wrestling and watched him construct a match, it was all inspiring, So, I'll say Raven as number 4. Yeah, Cornette was great mind of the business. But having worked with Raven, I can confidently say Raven as number 4.
Let's see. We got 2 more questions here for you. Maddie, Mr. Marijuana. He first of all, he says, "Good morning from Australia, Meanie. Thank you for joining us so early, sir."
My family, I almost moved to Australia as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, my mom had a boyfriend who was from Australia, and he had to move back to take care of his mom. And my mom, came to me and my sister was like, "Do you want to go to Australia?" We're like, "Where the fuck is Australia?" She said, "First of all, if you're 7 years old, you shouldn't be swearing at me." No, I'm just kidding.
We say, as my son says, "This is the drizzling shits" on our soundboard.
Yeah, dude. Australia's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So, good morning, sir.
He says, "Since when has the Meanie been here? How epic! This is our first show here on One True Sport, so we are happy to be here." I also saw that you asked how frequent we're going to be doing the show. We'll be here every week. We'll be here every week on the platform here, so you'll be able to watch us live as we record the show each and every week, and then you'll be able to hear the show again on Monday in our RSS feeds wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. So we thank you for allowing us to be here.
Yeah, Mind of the Meanie's been here. This is our 230th episode.
Mhm.
This is our debut for One True Sports. Like I said, it's nice to be a part of a organization that wants us to be here and helps promote us.
Yes.
So it's just going to be a beautiful collaboration between Mind of the Meanie and One True Sports. And here's to many more episodes.
And he says, "Haha, we swear so much here." Yeah, dude. Yes, we do, sir. Yes, we do. But he did have an Ask Meanie question for you. And I believe he is a friend of Mr. Rob Van Dam and potentially Mr. Tommy Chung. He says, "Does Meanie smoke weed?"
Oh, fuck yeah. I'll say this, man. Sadly, I just had to turn down a guest spot at the 420 Expo that happens every year in North Jersey. Shout out to my buddy Dan Davis, who promotes the 420 event convention. It's like a 3-day convention, but like it's right before we're doing our honeymoon. Me and Mrs. Meanie are going on our honeymoon in a couple weeks. So we might have to do a double header down the line here for One True Sports. But yeah, I partake in the weed, the marijuana,
the jazz cabbage, if you will, the devil's lettuce. Yep.
The jazz cigarette, as Philly Captain says on his feed, the jazz cigarette. If you're not familiar with the Philly Captain, go on YouTube and type in Philly Captain. He's one of my favorite people. But yeah, I've been. Look, I always say I'm grateful that I've never really gone down the hardcore drug route, because in wrestling business it could be easy, especially painkillers and stuff like that. But to me, weed will always be the best drug, even more so than booze. But now that I'm 51, bro, and I'm feeling those moonsaults every day I get out of bed, I sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies. The CBD helps. The gummies help. But just like alcohol, I treat them responsibly, and I make sure I'm within a walking distance of my bed. So it's mostly a sleep aid. But I'll say this, going back to the 420 Expo that my buddy Dan runs in North Jersey, that is probably the most high I've ever been in my fucking life. I levitated above my body and just watched myself sit there like this.
Oh my God.
Did I just end that sentence with the?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sober now, as you know, but the last time I took a gummy someone gave to me, this individual had he takes I think it's like, I don't know if it's 250 milligrams. He'll have, if he's here, he can tell me how much it is. Um, but it was an insane amount of THC inside of it. And I took a little hunk off of the side, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this should be fine," you know. And I took it before we recorded that one episode that week. I don't know if you remember, but I was totally fine. I was like, "Oh, nothing's wrong, everything's good." And then all of a sudden, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I swore, like, it was like I was tripping balls, man. I got in the shower to try to like not be so high anymore. And it felt like as the water hit the top of my head, it was like all neon colors, yellows and greens and shit. And I was like, no, that doesn't work for me, brother. That was not a pleasant day. I was stoned for probably 2 days. But
the most famous last words are, "These edibles ain't shit."
meanwhile, I'm in the fucking clouds floating in Andromeda about 2 hours later.
Yeah.
It was not good. Matt,
Dude, I saw my grandparents and they've been dead for 20 years.
what is Chris Farley doing here? And why is he in a poncho? Like, what the fuck? I was so.
Why is he dressed like the girl from the No Rain video?
He's my fucking sleep demon, just dancing, but I'm awake and high as a kite.
I'm in a van down by the river.
If your father hasn't told you, my name is Matt Foley. One of these days, y'all, I promise you. Maybe that'll be a Patreon exclusive. I'll do my good Chris Farley impression for you. But Maddie, Mr. Marijuana says, "Fuck yes, this is so fucking cool." And I'm having my wake and bake Saturday, 8:08 a.m. I'll be here every week. I fucking love Meanie. We fucking love you too. We appreciate you, sir.
I love you, man. Man, you,
sir. And we have our last question. Oh, here's one. Eddie says, I had a bad experience with my.
I'm fucking with this trip.
Well, let me tell you something about a trip, Meanie.
I had a bad experience with my one and only time taking a gummy, brother. That'll knock you on your fucking ass, man. You got to be careful with those. And get them from a good licensed place. Like, they have them everywhere.
Start off with a half.
Yeah, get the lowest dose you can, start off, and then ease your way into it. Which is what I did, but I thought I did, but no, ended up in the
words of Tracy Smothers, Meanie will start off slow and then taper off from there.
We have our last question for the day. Liam Evans, thank you for joining us, sir. It says, "Ask Meanie, when are you making a trip across the pond? I need to get my Meanie bone-crushing wrestler autographed."
Which part of the pond? Because I'm going to Ireland in a couple of weeks, but hopefully I get over to the UK soon, man. I'm due. Me and Mrs. Meanie love coming over to England, and then we went over to Dublin for my 50th birthday and fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So when it came down to choosing our honeymoon, which we're just closing up. People get married there. They always do those registries. They're like, "Oh, where you registered?" They send you a toaster or a blender or whatever. But we just did like a honeymoon registry, and our family and friends, basically, there's a gimmick where you could buy us a beer, this, that, and the other thing. So, what? Let's go to Dublin again, and we're going to Dublin in September. Going to have a good time. Hopefully I get over there soon. Hopefully I could get a chance to sign your Bone Crusher. I'm amazed that in Wales. Very cool, dude. I did ancestry, and I'm part Welsh, Irish, Scottish. Well, I was looking for my phone because I have it on my phone.
Yeah.
I can't find my phone. Yeah, Irish, Scottish, and part Welsh. So, yeah, I'd love to get over there soon, man.
We appreciate all of your questions here and your super chats and your chats here. This has been a wonderful evening and afternoon with y'all, and morning for Mr. Maddie, Mr. Marijuana, of course, I should say. We want to thank you guys.
God-given name.
That's right. That's the name his parents gave him. So we want to make sure we said it. But we appreciate you being here. Meanie, I appreciate you doing the show with us each and every week. We got our final super chat here from we're going to give him a wait. This is the $10 super chat. So we're going to give him a fart noise. Great show tonight, guys. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you, Mr. Bromwell. Thank you so much. You are a legend and a gentleman and a scholar. and of course a scotch and a soda on top of that as well. So we appreciate y'all being here, and thank you for your super chats, and thank you for your questions. Again, each and every week we do this segment at the end of every show. We do the Ask Meanies, and sometimes, as Meanie talked about earlier, we actually do. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate you.
We do a double header. And so what that means is we'll do a regular episode just like this. We'll take about a 10, 15-minute break, and then we'll do an entire Ask Meanie episode right after that. So probably have to do that coming up, just depending on our schedules, and we will get that information to you. But we are so stoked to be here. And Meanie, I'm always so stoked to do this this program with you each and every week, sir. And I want to know, while our new friends are here, and for our pod squad and everyone who's listening, where can everybody keep up to date with all things blue when they're not listening to the program?
Hey, first of all, thank you to everybody who joined us live. Thank you to One True Sport. Thank you for everybody with the super chats. They mean the world. That means we get to keep the lights on here.
Yep.
But if you would like to follow me on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Blue Meanie BWO. Follow me on all forms of social media. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. Get yourself a BWO shirt. Also, if you would like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. If you go to madcapbeardcare.com, get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. My buddy Josh Thornton does an amazing job making beard oils and beard balms. He takes care of the local cats in his neighborhood. He rounds them up. He takes them to the vet on his own dime and sends them back into the wild, feeling a lot better than he found them. So go to madcapbeardcare.com, Blue Spruce Beard Oil or Balm. Shout out to the Ultra Pro Wrestling video games coming out on all major consoles. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, amazing artist, but many real world wrestlers, including myself. So follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game, or go to ultraprowrestling.com. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game. See how I did that backwards and forwards?
Hey, man, listen, I like that. I like that.
Speaking of the Bone Crushers, the figure collection Bone Crusher Wrestler Series 1s of the Blue Meanie, the blue guy, are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Type Blue Meanie in the search bar. You can get original Blue Meanie or BWO Blue Meanie. Each way, there's no wrong choice. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Book through the site. Don't book through the app. Let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter over there at Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Bernard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. And first, before I do that again, I want to thank you all for being here. This is wonderful. We're very excited to be here. And I do want to point out one question I saw in the comment here, one comment that Darren made. Adam looks like Ricky Gervais. And I want to talk about this for a minute because I've heard this a lot recently, and I don't know if that's how true that is, but I thank you, sir. I appreciate that as a compliment. Every time I see Ricky Gervais, I hear Elmo, his voice saying Mr. Ricky Gervais in my head. So that'll be in my head all night tonight. But I hope that's a compliment. But thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
And before you do your final plug, if you enjoyed this, tell a friend. If you hated it, tell an enemy.
That's right.
Please spread the word.
Tell somebody at Wawa. You're standing there at Wawa or Sheets to our friends in the west of the state here. You're like, hey, you're a fucking prick. But listen, I really like this podcast that I heard. It's called Mind of the Meanie. And then maybe you guys won't fight too early in the morning. But I digress. Thank you, sir.
Yo, cause.
If you want to keep up to date on all things I have going on in my life.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
If you want to keep up to date with everything I got going on, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. So go and find me there. You can also check out my other show, Foundation Radio, by going to youtube.com/@Foundation Radio Pod. You can subscribe today. You can see my vlog from the media stuff I was doing at SummerSlam 2024. My conversations with Bailey, Jade Cargill, and Rhea Ripley are all up there, as well as other conversations with Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. I talked to CBS News' Robert Costa, Eric Bischoff. The list goes on and on. So go and check it out there and subscribe today. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go and check in with Kane, who is my barber when I'm out west in my second home of Pittsburgh, who is also Finn Balor and Corey Graves' favorite barber as well. So go and check them out and book your appointment today for your hair and beard needs at 10th Ward Barbershop.com. Go to the FeinbergMethod.com, use promo code Goober and save up to 20% off of your entire purchase. My trainer, Brad Feinberg, is ready to help you with your physical and mental well-being. So go to the FeinbergMethod.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie, ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa de Meanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. You can also check out all of my pieces that I have written right now at bodyslam.net. I'm a contributor to that site. Shout out to Cassidy Haynes and the team over there. Also want to give a shout out to people on our team. You hear the voice at the beginning of the show and the end of the show, the executive voice, Sam Krebs, and then our wonderful engineer who makes our show sound so beautiful every Monday morning, Mr. Carl Pinnell. So we make fun of him, a little bit here. We talk about how he sounds, but then he said,
"Yo, asshole, I don't fucking sound like that."
To which we say, "Yes, you do. That's exactly what you
Yes,
sound
you do,
like.
Carl.
You do, Carl." So we want to make sure.
I know the bus driver.
You guys do this on the show every week. You make this noise like I'm like, and I don't make these noises. It sounds like somebody's kicking me in the nuts, and I don't do that. And I'm like, oh, don't you hear it? But he makes the show sound great. We appreciate you.
Ears, sir. Do you have, sir? Do you have ears?
If I may, sir.
If
I may have a volley, sir. But no, they're great. We have a wonderful team here, and you'll get to know everybody here as well. Don't forget as well, if you want some exclusive content and stuff we have coming up in the pipeline, you go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. If you want to subscribe above, you can click on me above Meanie's head there at youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie. You can go and find all of our archived episodes back there, some of our more recent video episodes, and we're going to be going into the archive to be pulling out a lot of old content we have and clipping it up just for you. So you can go and check that out now and subscribe today. And you can see our socials at the bottom of the screen as well. We want to thank the team at One True Sport for having us here. And we want to thank you for watching and for listening. We appreciate you. So for the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Bernard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
Have fun.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, at Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.